How you doing, folks? This is Russ Colchamiro. You might know me from my podcast, Russ's Rock and Roller Coaster, and I'm also a science fiction, fantasy, and mystery author. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I am sick and tired of all this doom and gloom and dystopian sci-fi and just living under this cloud of awfulness. I'm ready for some fun, so I'm really looking forward to Bill and Ted 3, and I hope you are too. I could use some most excellent fun, some sci-fi comedy. So if you like that kind of thing, like Bill and Ted, Groundhog Day, Third Rock from the Sun, well, I've got my own sci-fi comedy series, starting with Finders Keepers, the sequel, Genius de Milo, and the third book in the series, if you can see that, Astropalooza. Now, the first book, Finders Keepers, is loosely based on a series of backpacking trips that I took through Europe and New Zealand, set against a quest for a jar that contains the universe's DNA. So you've got these two knuckleheads, these being the two knuckleheads, right? Jason Medley, based on me, and Theo Barnes, being based on a buddy of mine from New Zealand. And their big worry is, can I get the girl? Can I make my train to Amsterdam? And I'm hungover again. Meanwhile, the fate of the universe is hanging in the balance, and they're at the center of it, only they don't know it. But as the reader, you do. So you're in on the joke, and they're not. Well, anyway, these two guys, they've met, they've been running around having these crazy little adventures in Europe, the kind that you think you do when you're in your 20s and you're running around. But they've both been impacted by this cosmic lunacy to different degrees, but they haven't really discussed it amongst themselves yet. Theo's the one who found the jar, and Jason's had some effect, but like I said, they haven't really talked about it. But they've been running around Europe for a couple of weeks, and it's time for them to split up because Jason has to go back home, back to the States, and it's their last night together. And they're in Barcelona, in a hostel, having a couple of beers, and they're kind of just, it's time to start saying goodbye, and they really don't want to. Anyway, here we go. And the chapter itself is Finders Keepers. In a room full of partiers in various stages of sweat, inebriation, and undress, Jason took 2 beers from the senorita tending bar. Next to him was a bowl of chips and salsa. The smell jolted his nostrils. Last night together, he said in clinked bottles. Let's make it count. As the beer went down cold, Jason wanted to say something to Theo, something he felt worth saying out loud, lest he never say it at all. That for all his days, Jason would remember how his own acts of foolishness had almost derailed their friendship, and that Theo had rescued it from the fire. For reminding Jason that you never lose faith when a friend of substance comes into your life. Jason embraced Theo, patted him on the back. Thanks for not giving up on me. There was a blast of white light. There were streaks of screaming fluorescent color. There was the sensation of being sucked through a tornado, and then there was a party, a loud, wild party. Dude, Jason shook his head. That's it. He looked at his beer, put it on the bar. You felt that, right? That flash, that color, that tornado thingy. He looked at the beer once more, then back at Theo. What the hell was that? Maybe it was the music, maybe it was the beer, or maybe it was the company of backpackers from around the world, the city of Barcelona, or their circumstances in total. But Theo felt an energy that lifted his spirits more than he had felt in a long, long time. So without censoring himself, he told Jason what he truly believed, but hadn't until then said out loud to anyone, that the jar he found deep in the Waitomo caves just might contain some sort of heavenly or even cosmological element, perhaps the very essence of the universe itself, and that for whatever reason, he was meant to find it. And that ever since, he had been having hallucinations, like rocketing through the center of the galaxy. Had Jason heard what he thought he heard at any other time, in any other place, and under any other circumstances, he would have testified under oath that Theo had quite clearly served himself a heaping scoop of bonkers-flavored ice cream with extra nuts and then gone back for sprinkles. But between the circuitous journey Jason had followed over the past month and those tripped-out hallucinations, he couldn't dismiss the possibility, as insane as it sounded, that maybe Theo was on the level. But a jar containing the essence of the universe? Come on, he thought. I mean, it couldn't be true. Could it? Jason looked at Theo, really looked at him, seeing those hesitant eyes staring back. And though there was laughter and pulsing music all around them, they faded away. Is he just messing with me, Jason thought? Or is he really out of his mind? Behind those eyes was a message. Behind Theo's eyes was a message. I know this sounds insane, but I'm serious. This is for real. Don't give up on me. This is real. This is real. Jason felt tight in his gut, not because Theo was yanking his chain, but because maybe he was telling the truth. And if the jar really did contain molecules of the universe, the essence of everything in existence, then he was being asked to make a decision. But what, Jason thought, am I supposed to do? Jason started thinking of the universe just then as a tangible realm, an actual place forged with magic and mystery, myth and superstition, danger and possibility. And then he realized something important about himself, that he was now looking at the universe from an altered perspective, that it wasn't all just some pool of milk more sour than sweet, that maybe the universe really was some boundless, intricate mechanism with cosmic coils and springs and gears that unfold in just such a way that it isn't all random or pointless. But either way, Jason was starting to figure that a friend of his was right after all, that he should try to enjoy himself as thoroughly and often as he could, because maybe the gears were meant to thrash apart tomorrow or even tonight, or maybe they would churn forever. But since he wasn't likely to ever find out which, why not maximize on the time he had left? A month earlier, Jason couldn't have imagined standing where he was. But now that he'd made it this far, he couldn't imagine standing anywhere else. All right, so that's a sample of Finders Keepers. I hope you liked it. I hope it was fun for you. I've done a few other readings. You can check those out. Again, my name is Russ Colchamiro, as you can see in the background there. I'm an author of science fiction, fantasy, and mystery. And if you do like Harold and Kumar, Groundhog Day, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I hope that and Third Rock from the Sun, I hope that you'll check out Finders Keepers. It is available on Amazon in both ebook and print format from Crazy 8 Press, and you can get the entire series all together. So thanks a lot. I hope everyone's doing great. Keep on smiling. Days are going to get better. Let's have a most excellent time together, and I'll be back for some more. Take care.